Welcome to the Liquidity Event, a show about all things personal finance with a laser focus on taxes, financial independence, and equity compensation. Hosted by AJ and Shane of Brooklyn FI, each episode will focus on a personal finance topic, some driven by news headlines and sometimes driven by listener questions. And sometimes you'll just get two money nerds rambling about what they think is interesting. Just a quick note before we get started, this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered tax or investment advice.
Hello, and welcome to the Liquidity Event. I'm your host, AJ Ayers.
And I'm Shane Mason.
And this is episode 180, being recorded on March 11th, airing on March 12th. You can always email us your finance questions at liquidityevent@brooklynfi.com, and we will answer them live on the air. How are you doing today, Shane? I see you are in a different location than your usual Mexico City abode.
Yeah, you can see the typical hotel room in the background. They actually, for an old-ass hotel, I'm at T3 in New Orleans, for the listeners.
New Orleans.
The tech,
in the South.
The technology.
Here we go.
Wait, how's that saying go?
Ariel, you have to take a shot.
Of today.
Ariel, our producer, has to take a shot because, as I told her that you would start a Southern accent within the first 5 minutes. So.
Well, the New Orleans accent's a little bit different, than your straight up Mississippi accent. You gotta put a little Southern lilt on that one. A little French, sorry, I can't help it. I've been down here. I haven't been in New Orleans in so long. This was my New York City growing up, and it's. I found myself on a farm last night, having a goat suckle on my finger. It's funny. Did you see that story I posted? Nobody liked it.
What was going on?
Nobody liked it. Not a single person liked the story because a goat was. It was so weird.
I think you needed a little. It was weird. I was like, "Are you on a farm? Like, what's going on? I thought you were at a conference.
Yeah.
Like, get back to work. I don't know. Like, what are we doing?"
Yeah. I was at
Why were you on a farm?
I had dinner with a friend after the conference. We went. There was an exhibit, a bunch of chefs here in New Orleans. They got together essentially at a food stand on a farm, and there were goats there.
Okay, cool. Well, I would love to hear about what you're learning about T3, which is the technology conference for our finance industry. Also on the pod today, we're going to talk about folks rating their 401ks to pay for medical expenses and other things. We're going to talk about Kraken, the crypto, tokenizing the stock market. That's a really good idea. And a CEO of a RIA called Range plans to eliminate its entire advisor workforce as AI takes over. But first, we have some. Yeah, I'd love to hear, Shane. What are you learning? You're at a tech conference. You and I have talked about going to this conference for 5 years.
Yeah,
you finally made it.
Yeah.
Is it cool? What are you learning? What can you share with our listeners?
Yeah. It's a long conference. It's 4 days, which is interesting. And the first day was an AI university.
So that would be 2.5 for AJ in conference time. I would have been out of there by now.
Our dear listener, AJ has never once made it from front to back to a conference. I used to get all of her Delta flight updates, and I would, around day 2 out of 4, I would just get a notification that your flight's been changed, and I would freak out. I'm like, oh no, I didn't change my flight. It's always AJ's flight that has been updated. There was some sort of bug. But yeah, I got all of her notifications. So she can never make it to the end of a conference, just like she can never watch a full YouTube video. Little known fact about AJ. Just too impatient. As brilliant people are, they want to get to the point and move on with their lives. So so 4 days. I'll be here till I leave tomorrow. Wednesday is today's the last day. It's Wednesday. I'm sure there's still stuff in the morning tomorrow as well, so I'll do that. But essentially, day 1 is AI University. A bunch of people just talk about AI, which was interesting. I've been AI obsessive lately, and I realized that financial advisors are sick of hearing about it. If you're not vibe coding yourself or trying to build something, I think essentially everybody's just waiting for Orion to roll out an AI that handles okay, we've got AI now, and it's secure, and we can move on with being advisors and seeing clients. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna talk about Range AI. Or AI, Range, a financial advisory company. Yeah, everyone's kind of taking their own approach to it. Some people are using their own models. And so, I could talk about it for the whole podcast. I don't want to do that. So I'll try to. And now today is just going around to the exhibit hall.
What makes you say that? Yeah. Well,
What
what
makes
makes
me
you
think
say
that
that
that's
you,
not going to
so yes,
happen?
let's, as a, yeah, I mean, I think that that's sort of the way I've been operating. And like, for example, a tool that I use all the time in our marketing, on our marketing team is HubSpot. And for years, I've been
Yeah,
like, HubSpot, what are you doing? Like catch up. And then literally in the past 3 months, it seems like, oh, they've just been building and they've caught up. And now they've got this pretty neat AI tool in HubSpot and it's pretty awesome. But you
yeah.
think that that's not, we're not going to see that in big tools like Schwab, Orion, Right Capital, the financial planning tool we use actually just launched a pretty cool, it's basically OCR of financial statements for like easy upload. But you have a negative view of AI adoption with these big tools. Tell me why.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's a negative adoption. I just don't think that one company is going to solve everyone's problem. I think what is going to happen
Got
is
it.
that every one of these tools will have an AI feature that is their own, and then they will talk amongst each other.
Got
And
it.
yeah,
Okay.
like, oh yeah. So I think it will make us all a lot more productive, and one advisor will be able to do the work of two, frankly, like, because there's just like a
Yeah.
lot of admin shit that we don't want to do, and that's taking a long time to get done. Like, I think that eventually there will be a financial advisory tool that will watch the transcript as you're talking to a client and will build the financial plan live with that information, because that is natural language prompting. And you're asking a client, like, hey, what's going on with your life? And it's going
Yep.
to say, well, Susie's 14, so we got to start college planning. And it will automatically start doing the college planning for you. And it will tap into their 529 balance, and it will start making recommendations live on that. Yeah. So, and then that might even have a tool, because that tool won't have, it'll be probabilistic stuff, and then it'll need to go to deterministic, do API calls to third party software such as like an estate planning tool, or frankly Gemify. And Gemify, our equity comp planning tool, you might be saying on like Right
Yeah.
Capital
Shout out.
won't be able to do the full equity planning, so it'll say, oh my god, to do this financial plan I need to go to the skills and the
Go to
plugins that
my other tool.
Gemify has. Yeah,
Yeah.
because not everyone's going to want to build, like, people can build things a lot faster now, and sure, Schwab could build an equity comp planning tool, but like they have other shit to build, so they're just going to call our
Yeah,
APIs,
for sure.
and
Yeah. And
we'll be able to
I think,
send back
yeah.
their the answers that they're looking for. I think
Yeah. So basically the
differentiation.
infrastructure is going to get
Yeah. I think,
good.
yeah, it's all about differentiation and already being the tool for that platform and having advisor buy. Yeah. And like knowing what you're going to get back. Yeah. It's all about it. When it's never, there's a fun phrase. You can tell I'm excited about this because I've been vibe coding a lot for the past like 2 months. And it's finally nice to have ideas get out of your head and get deployed on a much faster timeline than watching paint dry, which has been my experience for the past 7 months. But prior to Opus 4.6. But anyway, so yeah, it's never been easier to start a business, but harder to scale a business, is something that the HubSpot CEO said, Brian Halligan. Because yeah, you can start one, but scaling it and
Yeah.
differentiating against the 7 other copycats. Because you go to these AI, you go to this conference. I'm going to go down to the exhibit hall
It's
after
going
this
to be,
call. There's going to be 15 note taking apps. There's one here that just raised 80 million, AJ, called Jump, that I've never heard of. I never heard of Jump. I
oh,
just
you've
met
never heard of
this.
Jump?
No,
Oh
I
yeah.
just met the
Really?
CEO, and he's like, "Yeah, we raised 80 million." I'm like,
Well, I was going to
"Okay."
say the race, is not going to be to build the best product. Like people are going to be building very similar products with slight edges over each other. The race is going to be fundraising, frankly, is who has the relationships to raise the capital, who's the best at presenting their ideas, and who's the best at attracting talent, frankly. So I agree that it's leveling the playing field a little bit for people to jump start their ideas, but not necessarily to bring them to fruition. But I do like, I enjoy your future painting of a world where there's some sort of software architecture that's it's watching the call live or it's recording the meeting in person, and the AI is basically it's almost like a waiter, right? It's like, oh, you need this. Oh, you're thirsty. Let me bring you a glass of water. Oh, it's been a few minutes. Can I refresh your drink? Like, oh, you need a tax planning tool. Let's call that API. What is the current stock price of this? Oh, what's the fair market value of your privately held company? That's material and non-public information. Let's pull our secret database that no one else can see and let's flash it on the screen for a second, but it'll know not
Yeah.
to record that. So I like that idea that, financial advisors are going to hope the more innovative ones like ourselves are actually going to innovate tools and build things that we need. My fear, Shane, is that most of the people building AI not for financial advisors, for the end user, just the regular old person who's got a salary of 401k and wants to do some college planning or buy a house. My fear is that the people building tools for those people have not actually done their market research and don't actually know what people want. And they're just building cool shit that they and their friends want. And they don't actually understand that your average bear doesn't really want to use a tool like that. And your average bear just kind of wants an answer, and they want confidence in that answer. And that's what gives me a lot of pause about this article we have from Investment News. This RA Range saying they're going to replace all their advisors as AI takes over. What was your take specifically about this article, which got a lot of LinkedIn buzz in our little small world?
Yeah, well, it reminds me of Travis Kalanick's comment that the only problem with the business model at Uber is the driver, is the guy in the front seat. That's what's really sucking up all of the profits from allowing Uber to turn a corner with their VCs. This is VC-backed conversation. This is that type of comment. They have to say this because they have to, the whole premise is that they're eventually going to build software that allows them to provide financial planning without a human being in the front seat of the conversation. And that is you got to take long shots. Maybe that is the future. And VCs are wrong all the time. There's a lot of VC firms, they're not all Tiger Capital. They're not all Sequoia. And those firms have, if you look at their portfolio, there's dozens of companies.
Yeah, they've got some L's.
There's 80% of those firms don't do shit, and they don't turn. Anyway, that is the premise of venture capital, is that the one W that you take replaces the 90% of the firms that you invested in that take it. Anyway, so they have to say that because they have to turn a corner and become one of the Ws for their investors. It gets a lot of. It gets a lot. I mean, how bad does it feel to work at Range? And they're like, yeah, we're very open about.
God, what a nightmare.
Yeah, what a shitty conversation. So apparently they're very open to it.
I agree with. This is PR speak to get attention, which success. We're talking about it. But there was this quote that our belief is that you are 50 or 60 years old and under, you're going to be comfortable with AI doing everything for you over probably the next decade. And
for sure,
that just made me vomit in my mouth a little bit, because what does define everything? Relationships, friendships, sex. Are we literally just going to outsource everything to AI? I mean, money, relationships, and talking about money with your advisor is an incredibly deeply personal part of people. I mean, we have clients who cry in meetings all the time, and we get to really good planning outcomes and changes in the portfolio and changes in the financial plan because we dig deeper beyond my kid is 14 and needs to go to a school that's going to cost 80 grand a year in 4 years. That's what's missing for me here is I hope AI can bring better financial advice to the mass market, but for the types of folks who currently quote unquote qualify for a financial advisor, meaning an advisor can bring more value than just putting them in a portfolio and calling it a day. AI is going to catapult the advisors who adopt it early to, greatly increase their businesses, and everyone else is just going to fall behind is my prediction here.
Yeah. And it does allow people to scale faster, and it moves data around faster. And if you don't, I was talking to an advisor in line, and I'm AI pilled, and I was at Starbucks because they only have a Starbucks here, unfortunately, which tastes like an ashtray. But I was talking to a guy, I used to come to these conferences as an advisor, right? And now I'm coming to represent Gemify. And you can tell the difference in people's responses when I introduce myself as the software person instead of an advisor, because advisors don't want to talk to me because I'm going to sell them something. Yeah. You sell stuff. All right. Well, I've never heard of your product and you're selling it. I'm not. So sometimes I'll just be and I also own a wealth management firm. Okay. And this guy's I'm a COO.
Oh, okay. You're my friend. Yeah.
This guy, I thought it was a perfect use case. And to your point about people not wanting to deal with this shit, he's a CEO of a firm, and he's I'm trying to figure out how to get this process, something about meeting notes. But he's I just don't want to send it to AI because this and this and this, and disclosures. I don't want to deal with the disclosures. And I was oh, you just use a local model. And I started going down talking about how he could deploy a VPS, and his eyes rolled into he didn't even say, thanks. He just goes, well, it was nice to meet you. Just shakes my hand and walks away. This guy's in his mid-30s. He's I'm people are tired of hearing about it, and they just want to get it over with, I think, and make sure that everyone still has jobs on the other side of it, or that they have a job on the other side of it. But unfortunately, things are changing super fast. Yeah, I mean, I just think that a lot of people are moving towards this. Like, there's the stock market kind of moved to AI proof industries. A lot of the, Nasdaq was down or flat for year to date, and there was a pivot towards like transportation, and there was a pivot towards hardware. And yeah, like B2B SaaS is getting beat up in the markets. And with that in mind, people are thinking like, well, we don't need financial advice. Like, I think that the human in the loop, the financial advisor, is the hardware in this case. Like, you need someone there
Yeah.
to provide the advice, like you're saying, because you are going to cry. You're not going to cry to ChatGPT. Like, you're not going to have the connection necessary, or the implementation is where we've always been super valuable as advisors. Anyone can say you should invest, but actually opening the account, helping you get across the finish line and talking to your family. Like, humans are the hardware that are necessary.
Yeah, I think we're on the cutting edge of this, right? We've had consumer available AI large language models we can talk to for what, like 3 years? Like, we're still in the beginning.
Yeah.
And, CEOs of companies like Range have to say shit like, we're replacing all of our advisors with AI, and CEOs of companies like Block have to lay off 50% of their workforce because that's what the market's telling them, right? We're saying we're making these huge investments in AI and infrastructure that we have to see cost cutting elsewhere. So they're making costs. And we may see that in 6 months or 18 months. Block may go, oh shit, we just laid off all those people. Who's going to actually do the customer service because our bots are not learning fast enough? And also our customers hate them and they're so sick of interacting with them that they're just going to go to our competitors. So I think we will see kind of a correction. Right now, we are in the, as we talked about last week, we are in the future is so uncertain and it can feel very bleak because a lot of people just haven't grasped what this means and they haven't actually started to see it impact their lives unless they are one of those people who is unfortunately laid off at Block, or has their CEO tell them they are actively trying to eliminate their job. So that's fun. Speaking of having your job eliminated,
before we
got one more?
Yeah,
Okay.
before we move on, I'm sorry, I'm at an AI conference essentially, so there is another comment that came up that there was Nitrogen is a company that used to be Riskalyze, and now they do a lot more stuff. And everyone is at these companies is talking about how all of our coders are using these tools to develop things a lot faster. And your comment about agents is actually really interesting because he was going to be late for his flight. This keynote speaker, he told this story about trying to get here to New Orleans. And he was going to be late for his flight because he didn't have TSA on his
boarding pass.
Like, his flight was
I'm
canceled.
familiar with this problem.
And he was running towards TSA because he was late for his flight for whatever reason. And he was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get TSA on my boarding pass. So he submitted a ticket to customer service while he was on the way. And he was like, if a human gets this, it's going to take too long. But an agent bot picked it up, referenced his flight, went through all the checklists and added TSA. And he said it was the first time he was happy he got an agent, an AI bot instead of a human for customer service purposes. So I do think that there is a world where if they're good enough, they can do it. And you'll actually like it.
I have the opposite of that story.
Yeah.
I have the opposite of that story, which is that I was trying to figure out, I bought a pretty cheap I'm going to Austria in a few weeks, and I bought a pretty cheap ticket.
That's news.
But I wanted to treat myself. So I wanted to use some miles and my global upgrade certificates to try to work things out a little bit. So I talked to the agent, the bot. The bot was so useless. It kept asking me who I am. The Delta bot is such garbage. It's just a joke. So anyway, so I called them. 45 minutes later, this guy got me for 150,000 Delta miles and 2 global upgrade certificates. The original cost of my round trip ticket was under $1,000. I am now flying Delta One both ways from New York City to Munich for about 150,000 miles, 2 global upgrades, and $1,000, which is basically like a $14,000 round trip ticket.
Yeah.
For about $1,000 and a bunch of credit card points.
How are you getting to Austria?
So that was my big win of the week. What's that?
How are you getting to Austria?
Why?
How are you getting to Austria from Munich?
I'm taking the train. I'm taking the train from Munich to Salzburg.
Okay. Okay, I got you.
I'm taking a little
big takeaway is you're flying to the wrong country.
Well,
that's cool.
You can't fly direct, and Vienna is too where I'm going in Austria. Vienna is too far, and Delta doesn't fly direct to Vienna.
Yeah. Okay. I follow.
That's why I'm going that way. All
Yep.
right. Sorry for the little Delta segue, folks. So yes, agents, when they work, agree. If you have a problem you need to solve quickly and you have a confirmation number and something in the system to confirm your identity, absolutely agree. Let's just use a database to handle that for you and get you approved and get that message to the TSA people.
Mm.
All right. Speaking of bureaucracy and agent, I don't know. I don't have a good segue for you. We got a 401k article, my favorite, from the Wall Street Journal, that record numbers of workers are rating their 401k savings. They are rating them for things like buying cars and motorcycles and Pelotons. No, I'm just kidding. They're not buying stupid shit. They are using this money for things like paying their mortgage so their house doesn't get foreclosed upon, paying medical expenses for life-saving procedures and whatnot. This is your classic, the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. So the rich if you have the money to invest in the stock market, your 401k is off the chart, right? You're up double digits basically every year for the past couple years, except for maybe 2022. Whereas if you are not in a position where you can invest a lot of savings in the stock market, and you have to pay for things, goods have gotten more expensive and your wages likely haven't caught up. So this is just your classic bifurcation of the, what do we call it? The K-shaped economy. This is another, feather in the cap for the K-shaped economy. If you have money in the market and you own things, good for you. If you don't, it's getting a lot more expensive to be a human and live in comfort, if you will. Thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, you scared me because I thought I missed a part of the article where people were using these distributions for frivolous things like motorcycles. I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty sick. I'm down for this. I'm actually pro this. Everyone get a motorcycle before AI makes us. Dude, you watched Wall-E, by the way. We have not talked about it. Speaking of AI,
I did not watch Wall-E.
You didn't watch it?
I did not watch Wall-E.
You lied to me.
I went to sleep. I fell asleep.
Okay, all right. Well,
no, I said I was going to, and then I fell asleep.
You'll watch it eventually.
Actually, I watched Young Sherlock instead, and it was pretty good.
As long as it's not Young Sheldon, I would really feel. Please don't. I don't know.
What's
It's the
I think I know what that is, but I don't know.
It's the prequel to one of the worst TV shows ever. That did The Big Bang Theory. I don't. If anyone likes that show, like I get it. It's chill, but like, it's just it's a sitcom.
Oh, that show is? I don't think I've ever seen a full episode, but it's literally on. Anyway, okay, that's too much of a segue. That's uninteresting. Anyway,
bringing it back to 401k workers, I think that the economy has not been what this administration has pumped it up to be. The Dow's not at 50,000. And even if it was, we're getting all of these, people keep forgetting that we get these jobs reports keep getting amended and edited. And the economy essentially has added like 60,000 jobs over the past like 6 months. Like the economy is not doing okay. And I don't know, Block has laid those people off. Some people argued that they overhired during COVID, but it is sending shockwaves through the market and through the American economy. People are really worried about AI, and people think that they're getting laid off because of AI, and maybe they're pulling the future forward, and they're not going to need those people in the future. But anyway, either way, there's a lot of Americans that. There's two things going on. There's that, and there's also the automatic enrollment of people into 401ks, which I think is a good thing. And we've got more people contributing to 401ks. And it's fantastic that they have these accounts for emergencies that they are now tapping into because jobs are flat, people are getting laid off. And, more people have tapped into them. More people also didn't have them before. So of course, there's going to be an uptick in people using things that they didn't have in the past. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the stats. Yeah. This might be a nothing burger because they're also I think they're just counting the number of distributions in general, because the median distribution in this study was like $1,000.
It's like $2,800.
Yeah, it's not that much money. It's not like everyone's rating their $100,000 401ks to stay afloat. But
also, again, with any of these, articles based on studies, this is just Vanguard, right? This was not all 401ks. And Vanguard is one of the biggest providers. They have about 5 million accounts.
Yeah.
Fidelity is the biggest. They have 25 million. So 5 times their size, and there's a few in between. So this is 5 million people is not nothing. It's a significant snapshot, but it's not the full picture. The other thing that this article highlights, which I think is worth pointing out, is that hardship withdrawals, meaning you can withdraw money from your 401k without penalties for a hardship, are getting easier. Now, I don't like that you can withdraw money from your 401k, but I also like that you shouldn't be penalized if you really need it. I also like the idea as good PR for 401ks that your money's not like locked up. And if you really, really needed it, you can take a little bit out for emergencies. So I like this idea of convincing more Americans to use 401ks, open 401ks, continue to contribute to them. This idea that like, well, if you really want to and you have a hardship, we'll let you take it out and you won't pay that extra penalty. So I think this is generally like good PR for the whole 401k industrial complex.
Yeah.
I love a 401k.
Yeah.
I think that's our next tattoo. 401k somewhere.
I'm going to get you a 401 carat ring once we hit some sort of milestone.
Perfect.
Is that a lot?
Oh no. Yes, it's a lot. I don't think that exists. I'm slow on the segues today. I lost all my energy last week, but you wanted to talk about this article. I don't remember where this is from, but it's about Kraken, the cryptocurrency exchange, tokenizing stocks on the NASDAQ. Why did you want to talk about this?
This is the only article I don't want to talk about, is what I said.
Oh, really?
I was like, wait, how did this make the final list?
Oh, I misread that.
I think there was a key contraction missed in the do or don't want to talk.
I totally missed that. Well, anyway, I read it, so I do want to talk
All
about
right, let's rock.
All right, so I've been thinking about this comparison, and it might be like I also had my first drink in 3 weeks last night, and I was like writing this down, so this might be a late night drunken rant.
Let's go.
But all right, so what we're talking about here is Kraken, which is a crypto exchange. In 2025, they put in a proposal to the SEC to be able to tokenize stocks, meaning that you could own a token representing a real share of a real stock, and your token would actually have voting rights as a shareholder.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't actually own the underlying, share of Nvidia or whatever. I don't know if they're on the NASDAQ or not. So basically, you have this like shadow stock exchange that's like kind of like the real thing that like sort of follows it. And that's like kind of what crypto is, right? Crypto is, it's technically not, there's some tokens that are tied to the US dollar, but it's this wider, bigger market that more people have access to, right? Not every person in the world has access to be able to invest in the US stock market. More people have access to crypto exchanges because they're typically not governed by borders and whatnot. So here's my analogy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is to the US dollar as live golf is to the PGA Tour.
Oh my God, it's a golf analogy.
Cheaper copy of the real thing, and it only has value because people keep piling money into it. And it's just a giant Ponzi scheme. It's like rowdier, it's messier, it's like there's less rules, it's like, and it's better for like more people around the world can contribute to it and engage with it, and it's not a strictly American thing. There's my hot take.
All right. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I have any commentary on the live golf analogy, but I'm with you. Yeah, I think we can move on to the next article.
Well, if you're with me, you're not against me. So.
I'm with you.
You didn't even want to talk this anyway. All right, fine.
No.
Okay,
I
fine. We have one.
I wanted to ignore it because it's like a crypto thing. But when I actually read the article, I was like, oh, this is actually about proxy voting and a way to. Maybe it is. We finally have a use case for crypto, and it's related to.
Finally.
Yeah, and it also allows for 24/7 trading of the stock market, which I think is not ideal. And I think that we need to take breaks and be able to step away from the computer. I saw an Instagram reel. I follow these all these science. Well, never mind. We won't get into gambling, but gambling is a huge problem for suicide in the American economy for men. So I don't think we need additional gambling opportunities or a 24/7 stock market that's tokenized. I think we need some regulation here, but I don't know. We'll see.
Sure.
We'll see how it goes.
We have this one. We have this one Reddit question. It did get deleted, but I captured the gist of it. And it's actually a good question, so I wanted to talk about it. The Reddit question was basically, hey, I'm finding myself with more net worth than I ever have. I'm investing in the market. That's all good. I'm still employed. How do I protect my net worth from lawsuits and potentially losing value in the stock market? So there's really two questions. It's how do I protect my net worth from losing value in the stock market? And the second part is how do I protect myself from lawsuits? Thoughts?
AI. Sorry. Sorry.
I was thinking more of a combination of, well, first of all, you cannot protect yourself from losses in the stock market. That's not a thing. You can
Portfolio
protect yourself
insurance.
from, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's called long short. There you go. No, you cannot protect yourself from losses in the stock market, but you can protect yourself from your brokerage company folding. There are some protections for, a company completely folding and stealing your money. But you take risk when you invest in the market. So no way to do that. The lawsuit thing is interesting because this is something that is sort of like you got to do this recommendation gets thrown around a lot, and I think people misunderstand it. And the answer to protecting your net worth from lawsuits is, of course, umbrella insurance, which is, if you think about it, it's like an umbrella sitting over all of your other insurance for your cars and your homes and all this stuff, and the umbrella sits on top of it. Now, the problem for folks like a lot of our clients who are finding themselves with a high net worth and not necessarily cars because they live in New York City and not necessarily a ton of properties to insure. So we have this really weird missing product in the market that is basically lawsuit insurance. To be able to get up to a minimum where some insurer would write me an umbrella policy. So umbrella insurance, it's a lot of people don't like to sell it because it's actually pretty cheap. So your insurer wants you to have that expensive auto policy or that expensive homeowner's policy in order to also buy the umbrella. So that's the answer to the Reddit question, which got deleted.
I mean, I think it's worked out great. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, it's good to see you, bud. We'll see you next week. Want to read us out?
No.
No, you don't. Okay. Thanks so much for listening. Us your financial problems at liquidityevent.brooklynfi.com. Stans can leave us a review if they want to be worried about it. Thanks for listening, folks. I couldn't hear Shane half the time, but I think we did okay. We'll see you next week. Bye.